Alright, bell housing bolts are in. Now I've got a situation going on with the flex plate. Nothing ever goes easily around here. That removable bell housing is too thick. The pump bolts that hold the bell housing on are hitting my converter in the back. We noticed that when I put the converter into the transmission. And now worse than that, the converter's wedged up against the flex plate and it won't turn. This is a disaster. So in other words, all of that you've just seen was for nothing. Just a learning experience. Probably can't use this transmission. If I pull it out, take the spacer from behind the flex plate out, which I think there is, but I'm not even sure, it'll still be really close. Sometimes the best thing to do is go back to bed. But I don't ever do that, so here we go again. Now what? Converter doesn't turn. Flex plate's wedged into the converter. How much of a spacer is between the flex plate and the crankshaft? If anything, I think like a 1/16 of an inch. I mean, I don't even think it'll be enough. And I gotta do all this just to find out if it is enough. And I'm not even for sure, 100% sure that the converter went all the way into the pump. The converter's so wide, this wasn't part of the design. A regular Turbo 400 converter works with this bell housing. I've done it many times. And I never had an issue with the spacing either. I mean, the only thing you would think is that it's further away, right? Because when you put that plate in, you actually add a spacer to push the flex plate closer to the converter. But in this case, the flex plate's too close and it needs to get out of the way. There's not really any room there. I don't think I even put that spacer in. I really don't think I did. I know I didn't. I don't think I can use this transmission. Not usable. That's a shame. What a disaster. The only thing I could do is use a different converter, and all the converters I got are for a gas motor and the stall's too high, so maybe we go with the junkyard transmission sitting behind me. Maybe we gut this transmission and put the guts in that one. Maybe it's time for lunch. What a disaster. What if I put spacers in the bell housing? Is that legal? You put the mid plate in there. So if I space the bell housing out, as long as the stub of the converter's in, why can't I do that? I guess I can. Kind of a crappy design, just to put shims in there. I don't like anything about this, but the transmission's already up there. You know where this is going. It's going to be part 45 of the Cummins swap, and I'm going to be doing 3 more transmission swaps. We're hoping to get all this stuff right. And when we're hoping to get all this stuff right, too many things are going wrong. I mean, the last transmission didn't work, but at least it actually bolted up and everything turned. I think I'm gonna just space the bell housing off the back of the motor. But I mean, it's not really a good plan. Kind of a crappy plan. Well, why? Well, you need longer bolts, and so you'll need longer bolts. Okay, I need longer bolts. Then what? Then what after I need the longer bolts? You put some washers in there, and you've got your little studs that pop off the back of the block, your dowel pins to position the bell housing onto the motor, because it's not really the bolts that keep this from happening. It's those dowel pins. Those are what, you can't space it off of those. If it pushes off of those, how thick are they? They're already in. I mean, I've already got a mid plate between the engine and the transmission. I've already got a 1/4 inch in there. You're going to need another 1/4 inch. You're going to have the bell housing spaced a 1/2 inch off the back of the engine just so you can make the converter work. And at that point, who knows if the converter will be pulling too far out of the transmission and messing up the pump. If I knew what I was talking about, I might make sense. If I knew what I was talking about, then I wouldn't be in this situation in the first place, would I? No, I wouldn't. What am I doing? What did I do? What was I thinking? Why did I think I should keep going? Why didn't I just quit? The scrapyard would have gave me $500 for all this mess. Then I wouldn't have to be here talking about it. Then I would need something else to do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay, here's what I do. I loosen all the bell housing bolts, then slide the transmission back, but don't separate it from the motor. Don't even allow the dowel pins to slide out. Let's do this a 1/4 inch at a time, 2 washers. Then we remove 1 bolt at a time and we add shims. We make sure those dowel pins are still hitting the bell housing, and we bolt it back together and see if the converter will move. All right, that was a good talk. All right, let's do that. All right, I am now loosening the bolts. Just going to take the top one out. Now the transmissions should be able to slide back, but not pop off, and hopefully not even pop off to the dowel pins. Let's see if I can wiggle this trans back. Let's tighten this strap back up a little bit. All right, screw it. Now, doesn't even want to come back. Let me loosen the jack up. Where's my lucky pry bar? There he is. Come on now, you dirty dog. I'm gonna stick my pry bar in there, and I'm gonna pry it backwards. Will it work? Yeah, of course it will. There it goes. Removing bolt number 2. Installing shim very carefully. With great care and ease, I'll slide this washer into place, sliding the bolt out, putting the washer in, sliding the bolt through the center of the washer, hopefully. Whoa, he ran away. That didn't work as planned. That was a rather awful experience for everyone involved. Now that I've retrieved my washer, I will be trying again. Alright, now the transmission's been reinstalled with shims in place.